What's up, YouTube? PokePrimer here, primed and ready to deliver you our JLPC Season 6. This week we are taking on Whojay and his Bloomington Bros. He made a funny comment in the recap videos for last week, saying he's never beaten me, so hopefully with this matchup we'll be able to keep that streak alive. Will it happen? We'll see. It's always a good match with Jay. He's a really good guy, really cool dude, good friend of mine. Really love this dude. He's one of my favorite people in JLPC. So always look forward to playing him. So really gonna be a fun one. But we see that he brings a lot of what I really thought he was going to bring. Like, nothing here kind of surprises me at all. Pretty much. Like, looking at his roster, like, Jirachi and Incineroar were pretty much a guarantee in my head. Zapdos was pretty much a guarantee in my head. Suicune was pretty high on my rankings. Suicune's just hard not to bring because of how fat it is. Vileplume I'm kind of surprised by, but I can also kind of understand because it does deal with my defensive core pretty well. So that's... cool. I guess that makes sense to me. And then Palisand, I guess, also makes sense because, like, a defensive Palisand can also serve as, like, a backup check to my Galarian Zapdos. So, pretty much, like, everything makes sense. No Virizion, not surprised there. Virizion doesn't really do a lot against my team. No Regidrago. I literally just had to bring Lele, and Regidrago doesn't do anything. No Morgrem. The Morgrem's kind of nullified for the most part by the fact that I have Lele and the Psychic Terrain screwing its prankster stuff. And the Armaldo's just kind of... It's good enough, but not great. And I also don't have a very, like, hazard-centric team. Like, I can set up rocks with a couple Mons, but, like, it's not that big of a deal, And, like, he's got other ways to get rid of rocks. He has Zapdos right there, which could be one of the best, which is one of the best defoggers in the game. So, pretty solid setup here. As for the leads, I was debating this for a while. I don't remember what I led, but I'm pretty sure that I led. Pretty sure I led with Blastoise. Pretty sure I led Blastoise here, expecting him to lead Incineroar or something else of that nature. I could be wrong, but we will see. But yeah, let's hop right on into this one. Alright, so he does lead the Incineroar, as I do lead the Blastoise. Yeah, I was correct. So he U-turns out. Does a decent chunk of damage. Looks like max attack Incineroar. He does take the Rocky Helmet chip, so that's really cool. Another thing to note, he does not have Intimidate, which I think was a very smart bring on his part, because of the fact that obviously I do have the Galarian Zapdos. If he was Intimidate, he would be giving me an attack boost if he intimidated me. If he ended up in a situation where he had to go into the Incineroar, and then he'd give me an attack boost, and then pretty much put himself in a 10 times worse position thanks to my Defiant ability. So that's pretty cool. So I go for the flip turn, and I'm able to get out of here on the Vileplume. So I put myself immediately in a good position with Pennywise of the Blacephalon. I'm just going to click sub here. This thing's designed to kind of sub up on these switch-ins and get Toxics off and stuff like that, and kind of just mess with people a little bit. He's going to crit the sub, not a big deal. It was going to break it anyway, and I just get some Shadow Ball chip off. And then he's actually going to switch here, which I thought was interesting. If I had decided to stay in, that would have been annoying for him, I'm sure. Because he wouldn't have appreciated the Shadow Ball on the Zapdos. Pretty sure it does close to half, if not a little over half. So, would have been really interesting if I decided to Shadow Ball again and just sack it. But I'm glad that I didn't, because... looking at his team, if I can get rid of that Incineroar, I think Blacephalon can probably sweep. So I'm going to actually... I think he goes into the Zapdos as I go into my Rotom. I think he probably predicted me to go into Blastoise on the Suicune. I think that makes sense to me. So him going to the Zapdos, trying to predict that makes sense. But I'm going to go my Marowak as it's designed to be the wall for this thing, being full Spadef and whatnot. I see that he's in Life Orb, and that kind of makes me wonder a little bit. It kind of gets me a little excited. It's like, okay, wait. If he's Life Orb, that means he's not Boots. And if he's not Boots, that means rocks are so much better in this game. I fully expect him to be Boots. So I just set up my rocks immediately, as he is going to do the same with his Palisand. I'm going to Toxic this thing because I just don't feel like dealing with it. He Shadow Balls me, gets the Spadef drop, kind of annoying. That's very much annoying to happen, so I'm just going to go out into my Rotom here, take the Shadow Ball really nicely. Don't really care about that, as he's going to take some more Toxic Chip. And now I'm going to actually double into Lele here, predicting him to go into anything else, and he goes Incineroar. And again, we see no Boots. So I'm not entirely sure what this thing's going to be. I know it's max attack. I know it's that much, but I don't know what else it could be. So I'm thinking in my head, this thing might be Scarf. It might be Scarf as a way to kind of like prevent Blacephalon from doing anything. Because if he Scarf Incineroar, then Blacephalon would never be able to really get going. You know, Blacephalon would be forced to switch out immediately as soon as Incineroar came back out on the field. Or if I didn't predict him to be Scarfed, I would get picked off. So that kind of raised a red flag for me, the way he brought this thing in here. I'm thinking that in my head at this point. So he goes for the Flare Blitz here, which is actually the best case scenario for me, because not only does he take the Rocky Helmet, but he also takes the recoil. So now that thing is basically dead, and the Zapdos comes in here and takes the Flip Turn, and that thing is now in range. Range has been acquired. I eat my Citrus Berry on Blacephalon. Range is acquired for the Shadow Ball. He goes Suicune. It exerts its pressure, but with the Toxic damage plus the Stealth Rock damage, it is going to be in range of a Shadow Ball no matter what, and Blacephalon, it picks up kill number 1 of this matchup. Now, the Incineroar comes back in. Obviously, now I know he's Scarfed, so I'm just going to go immediately out into Blastoise. I do sack it off here, but the Rocky Helmet is going to take out the Incineroar. Now I go back into Blacephalon here. I go for the Flamethrower, and the Vileplume lives. And I'm like, alright, cool. Nothing this Vileplume can do can kill me. Okay? I double-checked and triple-checked. Nothing this thing can do can kill me, right? So he goes for Sludge Wave, and he gets the 10% poison off when I'm down at 17%. If that poison did not happen, because obviously, like, hindsight now, and I know what his sets are, if that poison didn't happen, right, because he's not Scarfrachi, that poison didn't happen, I won. Right here, easy 5-0 victory. Blacephalon claims these last 4. Because this thing dies. Nothing switches in on a Flamethrower right now. At all. And if like Palisand could take one, but it dies with Shadow Ball afterwards, Jirachi's not appreciating it, and Zapdos is too low. So, no matter what, if this poison didn't happen, Blacephalon won this game. Straight up, period. Unfortunately, he does get that poison, and that is going to immediately turn the tide of this match from completely in my favor to now being an even matchup again. So, sucks a lot, but it is what it is. So he does get that poison. I'm going to definitely die this turn, so I just click the Shadow Ball, KO the Vileplume, and Pennywise goes down to that poison. So now I go into the Rotom as he goes Jirachi, and he reveals his Life Orb to me with the U-turn and takes out my Rotom, which is fine. He goes into the Palisand as I go into my Meep Meep. He goes for Destiny Bond, so I'm really glad that I didn't do anything there. He gets the Spadef drop here, which is fine because I get a Defiant boost. So I get to just bulk up on this thing's face. And I'm going to take it out with a Throat Chop. Now, I still have a chance to win at this point. All I need to... it requires a lot of luck. But I need to win the speed tie against this Zapdos. Assuming he's max speed, which I'm 90% sure that he was. Win the speed tie against the Zapdos. Not get static paralyzed. And then win the speed tie against Jirachi. That is pretty much my only route to winning. My best route to winning at this point. Okay? So I do win the speed tie against Zapdos. Great. Zapdos goes down. Cool. Literally just have to win one speed tie against Jirachi and I'm good. Except I get static parried. So immediately, damn. So he's able to take me out with his Zen Headbutt. Now, literally the last thing in this universe that could save me is if Marowak does not get flinched by this Iron hit. If Marowak somehow breaks through the 60% chance to flinch and hits the Bone Meringue, right, the Life Orb chip will knock it in range of Bone Meringue being able to take it out, even though I'm not boosted. Unfortunately, I flinch. And yeah. Also, I want to note, the Zen Headbutt killing my Zapdos was pretty much a 50-50 roll at +2 defense. I double-checked with Max Attack, Jolly, Life Orb, Jirachi, Zen Headbutt versus +2 defense. No defense boosting anything, but like +2 defense Galarian Zapdos, and the roll was like 48 to 56 or something like that. I'll actually run the calc again real quick because it'll take me 2 seconds to set it up. Zapdos Galar +2 versus Jirachi Life Orb Zen Headbutt. Yep, 48.5% to 58.2%. I was at 53%. So he had a 56.3% chance to KO me from that range. So it was basically a 50-50 shot for me to also have a chance of winning there. So from turn 16, I went from a very easy 5-0 win to a 1-0 loss, because obviously I'm not going to outspeed this Jirachi. It's going to KO me with the Iron Head, no matter what, and he is going to pick up a 1-0 win. So, yeah, definitely not the way I wanted to lose my first game of the season. No, I definitely didn't want to lose at all, to be fair, especially this early in the season. So, starting off 1-1, +3 differential kind of sucks, just because of the way it happened. But it's okay. Hopefully I will be able to rematch him in playoffs, and Blacephalon will be able to get that nice clean revenge sweep going on him. But yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. It is what it is. Next week we are taking on No Shoes and the New York Metagross. So get hyped for that. My boy No Shoes, he is one of the other content creators here in the league, so he will be uploading his side of the battle as well. So I will link that obviously in the description whenever he uploads it and whatnot. But he's got a pretty cool team, so it's going to be really, really fun to face off against, and I'm really, really excited to play him. So hopefully we'll be able to bounce back from this loss and get some momentum back going forward, so that we can start picking up some dubs. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. GG's again to Whojay. Until next time, buddy. You got one over on me finally. But until next time, I'm PokePrimer, signing off. Peace.